Hello everyone. I'm Sweep. Have you seen this image from Neon Genesis Evangelion? And how about this one from The Secret of the Golden Flower? Whether it's the Dead Sea Scrolls in Evangelion or the Karos path of The Secret of the Golden Flower, they both actually point to the same Sorgeth Tree of Life in Kabbalah. So, what exactly is the Tree of Life in Kabbalah? It's a mystical symbol used in Judaism, part of the Kabbalah tradition within Jewish philosophy. The Tree of Life describes the path to God and the process by which God created the world from nothing. Many people believe that the Kabbalistic Tree of Life corresponds to the Tree of Life mentioned in the Hebrew Bible's Genesis. Do you see any connection between the Tree of Life and my story from the pre-Kim period? The classic of mountains and seas describes a floating tree in Tang Valley with suns rotating on it. It also mentions a great tree with 9 suns in the southern regions of the classic of mountains and seas, where each sun takes turns dwelling on the branches. These descriptions talk about an ancient place in China called Tang Valley, which had a gigantic floating tree with 10 suns living on each sun on duty while the other prepared for its turn. The comparison between the floating tree in the classic of mountains and seas and the bronze tree from Sanxingdui is shown below. Observant viewers may have already noticed, whether it's the floating tree or the bronze tree, the Kabbalistic Tree of Life features 10 nodes, which is the key point of this discussion. The floating tree in the classic of mountains and seas has 10 suns. The Sanxingdui bronze tree has 10 golden houses, and the Kabbalistic Tree of Life has 10 Sephiroth. We also have 10 solar terms and 10 heavenly stems. Do you find these connections a bit far-fetched? The 10 Sephiroth on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life are connected by 22 paths, which corresponds to the 22 sequences in the Secret of the Golden Flower and the 22 major arcana cards in Tarot. Please remember these two numbers 10 and 22. Liang Qichao mentioned in his simplified Chinese language that there are 22 characters in the Chinese heavenly stems and earthly branches, and he found this notion complex and astonishing. He proposed comparing the stems and branches with the English, Phoenician, and ancient Greek alphabets. Why did Liang Qichao link the 22 stems and branches with the Phoenician alphabet? Because the Phoenician alphabet has 22 letters and is the template for all letter-based writing systems in the world, including the 26 letters of the English alphabet and ancient Greek and Roman alphabets, which also originated from Phoenician letters. In Liang Qichao's collected works of Drinking Ice Rune, he argued that the shapes and pronunciations of characters show connections between Chinese and Western scripts, suggesting that the forms and pronunciations have undergone changes over time. If we study from both aspects, we see a correlation between the 22 Phoenician letters and the 22 characters of the stems and branches. According to Liang Qichao's view, the invention of the ancient Chinese stems and branches system seems to be related to the Phoenician 22 letters. He believed there must be a connection between the ancient stems and branches and the Phoenician letters. Gomoruwa, in his study of Oracle Bone script, argued that the 10 heavenly stems were a natural outcome of the decimal system, while the 12 earthly branches originated from ancient Babylon. He stated that China's 12 double are periods and 12 earthly branches evolved from the Babylonian zodiac. Comparing the 12 double are periods in ancient China with the Babylonian zodiac shows that the Chinese 12 double are periods and 12 earthly branches evolved from the Babylonian zodiac. Regarding the 22 stems and branches originating from the West, I personally believe this is not entirely accurate. Firstly, the Phoenician alphabet was invented around 1050 BC, while the Shang dynasty fell around 1046 BCE, which is roughly the same time. Thus, it's evident that the Phoenician alphabet was created after the fall of the Shang dynasty. Ancient China already had records of using 10 heavenly stems by then, which means the Chinese 10 heavenly stems were at least 800 to 1,000 years older than the Phoenician alphabet. Chen Zhonghua mentioned in History of Chinese Astronomy that the stems and branches might have existed during the Xia dynasty over 4,000 years ago. Zheng Wenyang in The Origins of Chinese Astronomy proposed that the 10 heavenly stems originated from the myth of 10 suns in the West River, reflecting the decimal system concept in timekeeping. The 12 earthly branches evolved from the myth of 12 moons. Zhu Shan and others in the history of Chinese science and technology suggested that during the Xia dynasty, the stems and branches system was further developed from the 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches, forming the 60-year cycle for timekeeping. It is evident that writing is the foundation of civilization. The Phoenician alphabet appeared 3,000 years ago, which means that the classics of the West came even later, indicating that the history of the stems and branches predates the Phoenician alphabet. On the other hand, could the 10 heavenly stems of Chinese civilization have influenced the Kabbalah in the West? The Dead Sea Scrolls are considered one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. But in the East, people are not particularly concerned with this so-called greatness. We are more interested in the background setting of Evangelion, which is actually based on the Dead Sea Scrolls. The uniqueness of Evangelion likely lies in the collision between ancient and obscure religious concepts and novel and stream of consciousness presentation. Essentially, I believe Hideaki Anno's Evangelion is a secondary creation based on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Many people might think the Dead Sea Scrolls are a Western artifice to enhance historical prestige. So, what exactly are the Dead Sea Scrolls? The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in caves near the Dead Sea between 1946 and 1956, totaling about 15,000 scrolls. These scrolls are currently housed in the Israel Museum. Around 2002, a series of Dead Sea Scrolls began circulating on the black market. The Museum of the Bible in the U.S., amidst this backdrop, purchased 16 of these scrolls at high prices between 2009 and 2014. But these scrolls were later proven to be fakes. So, the scrolls at the Israel Museum are genuine, while those at the Museum of the Bible are forgeries. The issue of the authenticity of the Dead Sea Scrolls reveals a problem in Western pseudo-physicity. How can you prove that the 15,000 scrolls in Israel are genuine? Because carbon-14 dating has confirmed that these scrolls were copied around the 2nd century BC, corresponding to China's Western Han period. Before the Dead Sea Scrolls, the earliest Hebrew Bible manuscripts in the West were the Masoretic text, written around the 10th century CE. The Masoretic text was meticulously preserved by Jewish scribes from the 6th century CE. They were known as the Masoretes. After the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, Jewish religious scholarship advanced by 1,000 years. So, it's not surprising that the West considers it one of the greatest discoveries of the 20th century. It seems that the East does not care about this so-called greatest discovery, as no one seems particularly concerned with its authenticity. A quick search online shows many claims of it being a forgery. Should we laugh or cry when it comes to Western pseudo-physicity? We first need to define the boundaries of this argument. If a sect claims to have a history of over 4,000 years, it's pseudo-physicity, as there is no evidence. But if they claim a history of 2,000 years, it's a matter of genealogy because there is supporting documentation. If they are forcefully linked to ancient Egyptian or cuneiform texts, that's what is commonly referred to as finding a father for their history, which can be seen as misappropriating others' history. When dealing with Western pseudo-physicity, we need a bit of dialecticals, as both Western and Eastern traditions have their wise and misleading elements. Returning to Evangelion, in the 1990s and TV series, the appearance of 9 mass-produced units forms the 10 nodes of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life in Judaism. This number corresponds to the 10 Sephiroth on the Kabbalistic tree. If we connect from 1 to 10, we get a unique path. This path is generally called the Serpent's Path, or the Path of Light. So, what does this path signify? The story of Evangelion can be summed up in one sentence. It starts with the Dead Sea Scrolls and forms a path from God to man. The Old Testament mentions a serpent on the Tree of Life, so we can summarize the entire story of Evangelion as starting with the Dead Sea Scrolls, leading to the Serpent's Path, which is the path from God to man. And people's plan is to reverse this path from man to God. Reversing from 10 to 1 and walking it again means the Tree of Life in the animation is actually upside down, representing the inverted Kabbalistic Tree of Life on Earth. This means the path is to destroy humanity to achieve divinity. So, are we questioning whether it's just anime? Here are some symbols. This is the World Health